Welcome to today's exploration of love, its essence, its purity, and how we can embody the purest form of love in our lives. If you've ever wondered what it means to truly love someone, or how to cultivate unconditional love, you're not alone. Love is one of the most profound and universal experiences in human life, yet so often, it becomes entangled with conditions and expectations. In this discussion, we'll uncover the timeless wisdom from Buddhist teachings about the purest kind of love, the practical steps to achieve it, and the incredible transformation it can bring to your relationships and inner peace. But before we dive deeper, let's pause for a moment. If you're new here, consider subscribing to our channel, Buddhism in Modern Life, where we simplify timeless Buddhist principles to enhance your daily life. Hit the subscribe button, and let's journey together into today's topic. Understanding conditional love. When we talk about love, most of us think of relationships, romantic partners, family, or friendships. But if you reflect on these relationships, you may notice a pattern. Love often comes with conditions. A conditional love in action. If you treat me kindly, I'll love you. If you respect me, I'll respect you back. While these feelings may seem genuine, they are, at their core, transactional. This conditional love depends on how others behave, creating an endless cycle of expectations and disappointments. A striking analogy that I once heard is that loving someone with conditions is akin to doing business, not love. For example, a shopkeeper provides goods and expects payment in return. If payment isn't made, the transaction falls apart. Is that how we want to view our relationships? Genuine love, pure love, should transcend such exchanges. The concept of unconditional love. So, what does it mean to love unconditionally? The Buddha describes this pure love as boundless, universal goodwill. It is a love that asks for nothing and gives everything. Imagine loving someone not because of how they make you feel, but because you genuinely wish for their happiness, regardless of your own. A beautiful example often cited is the love of a mother for her only child. A mother's love doesn't fade because her child cries through the night or makes mistakes. She loves with her entire being, expecting nothing in return. This is the closest many of us come to witnessing true, unconditional love in daily life. But here's the challenge. How can we extend this kind of love beyond just our children or family? How can we cultivate a love so expansive that it includes friends, strangers, and even enemies? Buddhist teachings on pure love. The Buddha offers a profound answer in his teachings on Metta, or loving kindness. In his words, we are encouraged to develop a mindset where we wish for the well-being of all living beings without exception. This includes a wishing happiness for friends and family, extending goodwill to strangers, even forgiving and wishing well for enemies. The Buddha compares this love to the sun. Just as the sun shines equally on the rich and poor, kind and cruel, so should our love radiate without boundaries. Practical steps to cultivate unconditional love. Transitioning from conditional to unconditional love is no easy task. It requires daily practice and a shift in perspective. Here's how you can begin. 1. Morning affirmations. Start your day by sitting quietly, taking a few deep breaths, and repeating, "May all beings be happy and free from suffering. May my enemies find peace and joy. Today, I forgive those who have wronged me." 2. Small acts of kindness. Kindness is love in action. Whether it's helping a stranger or simply listening to a friend, these acts teach you to give without expecting a return. 3. Forgiveness practices. Forgiving doesn't mean condoning harmful actions. It means releasing the burden of anger and resentment. Begin with simple steps, like silently wishing well for someone who upset you. 4. Visualization exercise. Close your eyes and picture someone you love. Imagine sending them warmth and happiness. Then, gradually include acquaintances, strangers, and finally, those you harbor negative feelings toward. This practice helps expand your capacity for unconditional love. To make these ideas tangible, let's look at real-life scenarios where unconditional love has transformed lives. 1. A teacher's compassion. A teacher once had a student who struggled academically and disrupted the class. Instead of punishment, the teacher chose to support the child, understanding that his behavior stemmed from a troubled home life. This unconditional support helped the student thrive. 2. Forgiving an enemy. In 1994, during the Rwandan genocide, a survivor forgave the man who killed her family. She chose love over hatred, not because it was easy, but because it freed her from bitterness. Her story is a powerful testament to the healing power of unconditional love. 3. Everyday acts of love. Simple moments, like smiling at a stranger or forgiving a friend, are everyday expressions of pure love. These small acts ripple out, creating a more compassionate world. Of course, practicing unconditional love isn't without its challenges. You may face resistance, especially when dealing with difficult individuals. However, remember that this journey isn't about perfection. It's about progress. Start small and be patient with yourself. As we delve deeper into this transformative practice, we'll explore more advanced methods to cultivate unconditional love, address common obstacles, and discuss how this practice can profoundly impact your relationships and inner peace. Let's continue this journey in the next section. Embracing the challenge of unconditional love. As we transition into the second half of our journey, let's revisit an essential truth. Loving someone unconditionally is not an overnight transformation. It's a lifelong practice. By understanding this, we can approach the process with patience, resilience, and a deep sense of purpose. In this part, we'll explore how to deepen your practice of unconditional love, navigate its obstacles, and experience the profound changes it can bring to your life and the lives of others. Expanding the circle of love. In Buddhist teachings, love begins as a seed planted in your heart, cultivated through intentional actions and thoughts. Over time, this love grows to include not only those closest to you, but also the wider world. 1. Loving friends and family. The easiest place to start is with those you already cherish. Strengthen these bonds by practicing gratitude and expressing your love openly. Tell your parents you appreciate their sacrifices, or thank a friend for their support. These simple acts deepen connections and set the foundation for expanding your love. 2. Loving strangers. This step involves seeing every person as someone deserving of kindness. Start small. Smile at someone you pass on the street or help a coworker without expecting recognition. Over time, these actions train your mind to view everyone with compassion. 3. Loving enemies. This is the most challenging yet most transformative aspect of unconditional love. Begin by recognizing that everyone, even those who hurt us, is shaped by their struggles and suffering. Forgiving someone doesn't mean excusing their actions. It means choosing peace over anger. Unconditional love in practice. To bring these ideas to life, here are practical exercises to integrate unconditional love into your daily routine. 1. Daily loving kindness meditation. Sit comfortably, close your eyes, and repeat phrases like, "May I be happy and free from suffering. May my loved ones be happy and free from suffering. May my enemies be happy and free from suffering." With each repetition, imagine your love radiating outward like ripples in a pond. 2. Writing letters of forgiveness. Write a letter to someone who hurt you, not to send but to release your anger. Express your feelings honestly, then end with a wish for their peace and happiness. This act is incredibly liberating. 3. Random acts of kindness. Perform unexpected acts of kindness, such as paying for a stranger's coffee or leaving a positive note for a coworker. These small gestures remind you of the joy of giving without expecting anything in return. 4. The gratitude jar. Keep a jar where you write down things you're grateful for each day, including acts of love you've given or received. Over time, this practice fosters a mindset of appreciation and generosity. The transformative power of unconditional love. The impact of unconditional love extends far beyond the individuals involved. It creates ripples that transform relationships, communities, and even global conflicts. 1. Healing relationships. Imagine forgiving a family member you've held a grudge against for years. By releasing resentment, you not only free yourself but also open the door to reconciliation. Many families have found renewed harmony through such acts of unconditional love. 2. Creating compassionate communities. When we practice kindness in our neighborhoods, workplaces, or schools, it inspires others to do the same. This creates a ripple effect, fostering environments of trust and cooperation. 3. Global impact. On a larger scale, movements like the Dalai Lama's teachings on compassion have shown how unconditional love can bridge cultural divides and inspire peace. Real-life stories of unconditional love. Let's explore more examples that illustrate the profound power of unconditional love. 1. The story of Nelson Mandela. After spending 27 years in prison, Nelson Mandela emerged with no bitterness toward those who had imprisoned him. Instead, he focused on reconciliation, proving that unconditional love and forgiveness can heal even the deepest wounds of injustice. 2. The compassion of Mother Teresa. Mother Teresa dedicated her life to serving the poor and dying, offering love and dignity to those society had forgotten. Her actions remind us that unconditional love is about seeing humanity in everyone. 3. Ordinary acts, extraordinary love. A nurse who holds the hand of a dying patient, a stranger who shields another during a disaster. These moments of selflessness exemplify unconditional love in everyday life. Common obstacles and how to overcome them. Loving unconditionally isn't always easy, especially when faced with anger, betrayal, or fear. Here's how to navigate these challenges. 1. Resentment. Holding on to past wrongs can block your ability to love. Address this by practicing forgiveness, even if it's just silently wishing someone well. 2. Fear of vulnerability. Loving without expecting anything in return can feel risky. Remind yourself that unconditional love isn't about what you get. It's about who you become. 3. Judgment. It's natural to judge others, but this limits your ability to love. Challenge yourself to see beyond someone's actions to their humanity. The role of self-love. An often overlooked aspect of unconditional love is self-love. To give freely to others, you must first fill your own cup. This means treating yourself with the same compassion and kindness you extend to others. Practice self-compassion. When you make mistakes, forgive yourself. Speak to yourself as you would to a dear friend. Set healthy boundaries. Loving unconditionally doesn't mean tolerating harm. Setting boundaries is an act of self-respect that allows you to love authentically. Celebrate your progress. Acknowledge the steps you've taken toward loving more purely, no matter how small. The ultimate lesson: love transforms. At its core, unconditional love is transformative. It changes the way you view yourself, others, and the world. It teaches you that love isn't something you do, it's something you are. When you embrace unconditional love, you release the burden of anger and resentment. You cultivate deeper, more meaningful relationships. You become a source of light and hope for those around you. As we conclude this journey, let me leave you with a challenge. For the next 7 days, commit to practicing one act of unconditional love each day. Whether it's forgiving someone, offering a kind word, or simply wishing happiness for a stranger, these acts will deepen your practice and bring you closer to the pure love we've explored. And if this message resonates with you, please consider subscribing to our channel, Buddhism in Modern Life. Together, we can continue exploring how timeless teachings can guide us in modern times. Let's create a world filled with kindness, compassion, and boundless love. A world transformed by love. Imagine a world where love isn't transactional but unconditional. A world where everyone, regardless of their past or present, is treated with kindness and compassion. This isn't just a dream. It's a possibility that begins with each of us. As you go about your life, remember the words of the Buddha. Just as a mother protects her only child, so with a boundless heart, one should cherish all living beings. Let these words guide you, inspire you, and remind you that the purest love is within your reach. Thank you for being part of this journey. Now go out, love purely, and make the world brighter, one act of kindness at a time.